Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, and it's been a while, but here I am at it again, making another video. And since it's a beautiful day here in Arizona, thought I'd do a little shot on location here by the Verde River, which is not very far from my house. A lot has happened since making my last video over a week ago. And one of the things is that I've been working on my personal website, which I've had for a while, but really haven't mentioned it previously. And at first, the website was going to contain my personal testimony, and then that would lead into H-E-X. But in the process of putting together the content, it's changing in the fact that it will be featuring H-E-X as the most prominent part, and then just my own stuff would just be supplementary. Basically, it's going to be broken down with the front page being talking about H-E-X and how to get involved, and then the next part would consist of what H-E-X means to me and why I'm involved with it. And then the third part would be my personal testimony, and then the fourth part would just be access to my videos, for example, and other social media accounts that I have. And putting together the information for my personal testimony, which is what I've been working on and just finished recently, is the fact that I'd mentioned in some of my previous videos that throughout the course of my life recently, an ongoing list of what is now 6 of the biggest lies ever has been given to me, and writing about these things was really exhausting, particularly lie number 4, because it's the one that hits home to me personally more than all of them, as far as feeling the effects of being surrounded by it. Couple that with the fact that there's probably more money tied up in lie number 4 than all the rest of them. I mean, there's like entire markets revolving around this lie. Whole industries have been built on it. So, like I said, talking about these things was rather exhausting. Relieving at the same time, which really is more important, because like I said, it just involves things that have been weighing on me for a very long time that I've had just difficulty talking about without getting a bunch of my own self-pity garbage mixed up in it. So, another thing that has come to me in the midst of doing all this is an area on my site where I'm going to talk about what H-E-X means to me personally. Something had come to me about an acronym that could be used to describe H-E-X. And part of why this came to me is I've had more than one incident where people have come back at me with implications that H-E-X is referring to a curse, putting a hex on somebody. And at least one of those people is themselves involved in the occult, which would, explain why they would come to that conclusion. And there's been other people where I would tell them about H-E-X and they would just kind of look at me with a blank stare, like, are you trying to put a hex on me? I mean, they wouldn't say that with their words, but their body language obviously communicated some type of apprehension. So what came to me as a way of explaining H-E-X to people is an acronym, H-E-X, standing for something. And the first word that came to me was the E for economic. So something, economic, something. So my next step was to grab a dictionary. My go-to dictionary is the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. That's the original dictionary that Noah Webster himself wrote. And I was looking under the letter X because obviously there are not as many words available that begin with X to use in this acronym. So I found one. And obviously finding an H word wasn't nearly as difficult. The word that came to me as I was looking through the dictionary is the word hardy. No pun intended. Obviously, hardy is a word that is used to describe something that is full of substance and has strength and is reliable. And, you know, a person with a hearty appetite is a person who can appreciate a lot of good food. So, hearty, economic, and then the X word is the word Ziphius. And if you were to type in the word Ziphius in Wikipedia, the thing that comes up is a swordfish. And in the dictionary, the first definition for Ziphius was a swordfish. But it was the second definition that really got me. And that is that a Ziphius is also a word that is used to describe a comet that is shaped like a sword. And what makes that so significant is back in 70 AD, when the Roman Empire destroyed the city of Jerusalem, one of the accounts of that siege that I had read talked about the fact that a sword in the shape of a comet had been hovering over the city for a year prior to the destruction. And in most indigenous cultures, a comet has been traditionally viewed as a symbol of judgment and coming doom. And I don't think it's too ironic that the adoption phase of Hex is going for 353 days, which is almost a year. So, am I concluding that Hex is a symbol of doom and judgment to the economy, or to Bitcoin, or to the cryptocurrency markets, or to all money in general? Don't know. No expectations, no promises. But at the same time, no complaints either, if it all turns out to be that way. You know, I'm not that big of a fan of centralized banking and centralized exchanges and all these other models and institutions that have profited from nefarious activity, to say the least. So that's something that I'm more than likely going to incorporate into my description of why I'm involved with Hex. Now, granted, I haven't run any of this by Richard yet. This just came to me recently. This is the first time I'm talking about it to anybody, so who knows. But, you know, the Hex logo does look like the head of a comet. So, you know, I was thinking of maybe making a graphic with the Hex logo and a comet with a tail that make it look like a sword. Who knows? My website is still ongoing. Like I said, I just posted the material for my personal testimony, and it's just text, so there's no graphics or any other emphasis yet. Like I said, that's not going to be the main focus. I want to shift off the further effort into putting together a front end that is focused on Hex. So I already know how I'm going to do it and what I want to do, so it's just a matter of putting it all together. Fortunately, I don't have to sit around and try and formulate things. So those are just a few things that have been going on with me. Fortunately, my health is still very well. You know, it's nice and sunny today, and being outside in the sun and getting fresh air and, you know, getting a beautiful view of nature is just a wonderful health creating practice. I hope the rest of you have the ability to do that. I hope you live in an area that is serene, and that you are well too, and that you're healthy. So anyway, I suppose that's all I'm going to share for now. Hopefully I'll be able to get another video together sooner than what it took to get this one. But until then, you all have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.